All right, so I'm on the road this week, but a lot is happening. So I had to get behind the microphone and talk about it. LeBron James, is his stock plummeted as far as people are concerned, right? Angel Reese, everybody always got something to say, and she just keeps making a bag out of it. Plus, these AI videos, are we tired of them? Y'all tell me. Coming up, we talk about all that on this week's episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings with Uncomfortable Conversations from Los Angeles. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings with Uncomfortable Conversations. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. This show, of course, is brought to you by Six Heart Media Productions. I am here in Los Angeles inside my hotel room, and I'm getting ready for a night out. But before I do that, I had to hit the recharge button after work. But I wanted to fire up the microphone. I wanted to talk. There's been a lot going on. Shout out to my lady Queen PR. She just left. We got some Beyond the Gates content, fresh Beyond the Gates content. So make sure you check that out. Folks, LeBron James, where do we start? LeBron James heel turn 2.0. That's what we're going to call it, right? So the Lakers, they just started their season. And shout out to the Lakers. They fell short to the Golden State Warriors. However, LeBron James was sitting there and he was looking, this interested. He was on the bench, nursing a sciatic injury, which I found interesting that he's sitting on the bench because it's really a nerve that happens in the back. And I was like, boy, what are you doing? But it's clear that there's some contract disputes. There was even a Laker insider that reported, let's just say the vibes aren't good. And quite frankly, I said this. I'm a diehard Los Angeles Lakers fan. Last year, this very week, I had an opportunity to go see history being made. I watched him and his son Bronny grace the court together. That's when Anthony Davis was on the team. Well, we all know how that trade went down, and it was even revealed that it was Bronny who let everybody know in the team chat or whatever that, Lakers, they traded him. And he's like, Anthony Davis, did these niggas just trade me? But, there was an article from The Ringer that revealed some things that went down between LeBron and Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook saying he can't stand that fake shit. And you may wonder, okay, what happened? Well, basically, LeBron and AD did not, in the piece you'll see, they didn't want to be bothered with Will Smith's visit. And there was also, like, before that, what led up to it, there was a summer league game, and they were on complete opposite sides, LeBron and Westbrook. But Westbrook was like, LeBron and AD left out, and Patrick Beverly is like, oh, they can do that because they won a championship. And Westbrook just didn't get it. Like, well, who are they? Like, we're supposed to be in this team together. And then LeBron comes back, and all of a sudden, because I guess the word got to the coaches, like, hey, man, y'all probably should get back in there because it's really causing a stir. And all of a sudden, LeBron has all these questions. And then, this brought up the fact that he claims The Godfather is his favorite movie, a movie I haven't seen, but he claims this is his favorite movie, but couldn't quote a single line. He claims that reading the Malcolm X biography was so inspiring, but he really couldn't say why. So, it's evidence of him being fake. And then there's Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith was on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Carmelo and Kaz, and he talked about his issues. He said that if it was up to LeBron James, he would not be in the position that he's in. And, he went on to talk about that. And it's just continued to talk about the issues he has with LeBron James as far as he was also indicating that LeBron is fake and that he was doing things. So I thought all this stuff was interesting, man. And I just think it's the more and more, sometimes you can stay around too long. You can stay around too long. Like, there are going to be fans who obviously love LeBron James. And I get the difference between LeBron and Michael there was social media during LeBron's era, not so much during Michael Jordan's era. But I don't remember hearing too many people call Michael Jordan fake. A bully. But I don't remember hearing that too often. And I think that's the big problem, and I'm looking at I remember Skip Bayless said the so-called king. He always says that. And then even the owner of the Cavs said the same thing. And just sitting back watching, man, I just think LeBron James is at that point where people just don't like him. And his peers are revealing who he is. And one thing about Russell Westbrook, a reason why a lot of people love Russell Westbrook, a lot of old school, he's even my favorite player. But the reason why a lot of people love him because he's a competitor, he's a dog on the court, and it's almost like what you see is what you get. And when he says he can't stand that fake shit, it's like, and there's also the part, we already knew that. And then, Stephen A. Smith going out there saying that, a lot of things that's gotten back to him that he's heard from LeBron. So he has no rap for him, which is, again, why don't you go talk to that man? You're 6'8", almost 300 pounds. Stephen A is 6'1", maybe 190, soaking wet. Come on now. Come on. So, and I've said this time and time again, as a Lakers fan, I am over the LeBron James era. I think that, yes, we got the championship, but he has his hands too much into people's teams. I didn't watch the starting five yet, but I saw a clip where KD said they was nervous. They knew they were coming. They knew that the Oklahoma City was going to eventually dethrone the Miami Heat. They were young when they played them. So Kendrick Perkins said it was Bosh, Wade, and LeBron telling James Harden, like, hey, man, you should get your own team. You too good to be coming off the bench. Playing that psychological stuff. Now you can say that's a basketball competitive advantage, but, I wasn't always the biggest LeBron James versus Michael Jordan debater, but one thing you cannot deny the fact is Jordan lined him up and he took him down. Did he have help? Yes. Did he have two other Hall of Famers on the second of the three-peat? Absolutely. But he still got the job done. So there's that. Speaking of which, there was a fan who sued LeBron James. Y'all may have noticed or heard about it, but yeah, that fan has dropped the lawsuit. He's trying to sue him because we thought that LeBron James was retiring. Instead, he just gave us a liquor ad. And everybody's like, all right, bro, that's corny. I don't know, man. I don't know about y'all so-called king. Hey, real quick, if you are a fan of Beyond the Gates, well, make sure you are subscribed, one, to the channel, but also check out the playlist where Queen PR and I do a deep dive every week, as well as recaps on the brand new hit show, Beyond the Gates. Check out Loving Them Gates. I talked about Stephen A. Smith. Serena Williams' husband came up on the show. And, he pressed him. Well, he didn't really press him. He just said, oh, Stephen A., I don't have advice. You want to give me marriage advice. He brought up the fact that Stephen A. was hard on Serena Williams about dancing at the Super Bowl in a song that trolls her ex, Drake. And he simply said, look, if that was if that was his woman, he said, that means so much to you, you go join him. You can be gone. Now, he went on the pivot and he said he's not that in tune to pop culture. He wasn't sure, he was just talking. He probably shouldn't have said that, he said that would have been a more of a conversation if he was in studio. But I did think that was interesting. I'm glad her husband did say something. Granted, regurgitated that conversation. I'm not going to sit up here and say Stephen A. Smith was going to back down, but I am glad that, they was at least able to make a quick laugh out of it. Congratulations to Angel Reese. She and Sunny Lee, two Olympic. Well, no. Angel Reese will be a future Olympian, but Sunny Lee is a Olympic gymnast. Both of them were in the Victoria's Secret fashion runway show. So shout out to them. Like I said, everybody always got something to say about Angel Reese, and all she's going to keep doing is keep flipping it and keep making money. You love to see it. So I'm super happy for her. And, the Chicago Sky, I don't think appreciate her. And y'all may know the Chicago has been awarded the All-Star game. Quite frankly, they don't deserve it. There's so much wrong with that organization. Even when she was trying to recruit, I want to say it was Gabby Williams, or maybe it was another WNBA player, and she said, "No, love you, girl. Won't play with you there, though." And you see it, like, they just don't appreciate it. They didn't even post it on their socials right away. The WNBA, which we know have their issues, didn't post it on their socials. So I just don't think they deserve it. Just that simple. I was going to do this pod last week before I packed up to come to LA, but I got tired. But one of the stories that was pressing at the time was Skip Bayless having the nerve to criticize Travis Hunter for playing football later after he got baptized. And let me reword that. Criticizing him for getting baptized the day before a football game. Skip Bayless' obsession with sports doesn't always translate well. We've seen this before with Damar Hamlin, and when the guy literally had to be revived on the football field, and they stopped the game. Skip had a nerve to say, "I'm sorry, but it's the big game, and you guys, they should have continued the game. You don't stop the game there." And he got a lot of backlash from a lot of different players, even to the point Shannon Sharp didn't do the show the next day. And I think that's where you kind of saw where their relationship really was and where it was going. And then he even said, like, he was surprised that it wasn't down. That tweet was still up, and Skip said he wasn't going to take it down. And my thing is, like, when you really think about Skip Bayless, he's somebody who's so obsessed with sports, which he said, these are his words, like, he'll watch, cricket, Little League football, Little League soccer. He loves sports so much. He even told his, longtime wife on their first date, "You will always come second to my career." And his obsession with sports sometimes, plus his opinions, gets him in hot water like this and have people say, "Shut the hell up." Like Travis Hunter said the reason why he got baptized because Sunday is God's day. It's something he wanted to do. He wanted to change his life around. And he chose to do that. I don't think getting baptized before you go play football is a distraction. As somebody who got baptized, I know you go down in the water and then you go ahead and do what you're going to do. Yes, I did it before I played drums. So as the church drummer, what would Skip Bayless say? Well, before you play, you got to get focused on the songs you're playing. You can't get baptized first. Like, that absolutely makes no sense. So, once again, Skip Bayless does idiotic things. And anybody knows me knows I'm a fan of his. But when he says shit like this, it makes it very difficult. OpenAI has reached out and said they were going to stop the creation of the Martin Luther King videos. Now, y'all may have been watching, and a lot of these videos usually start with wrestling promos, right? The first one I saw was the Tupac video. He's walking out to the ring, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know Pac was never in wrestling. And that's how I knew it was AI, because my memory goes back, and it goes back far enough. But it also looked at a time where he was gone by then, because it looked very TNA-ish. And TNA had sort of a WCW look, but this looked very TNA-ish. So next you know, I saw Martin Luther King, and it was just getting out of hand. So I'm glad they're going to stop that. Even his kids said, shout out to his daughter, Bernice, was like, look, this is disrespectful to my father. I've seen a lot of Mr. Rogers. I've seen President John F. Kennedy, Malcolm X, Biggie. The Biggie videos weren't good at all. So shout out to them for putting a stop to this. Before I get out of here, I definitely want to bring up Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders has put together some scrimmage games for his players that he know won't get time right now, but this will give them an opportunity to get some portal film. They're going to enter the trade portal so they can go play somewhere else. So this gives them a chance to get some film, and I thought that was a great gesture. It's very easy to criticize Deion, but you can see he is a parent, and him doing something like this, giving these kids an opportunity to go play somewhere else, but also get some game film. He's telling them, go out there, they're going to even, have the cheerleaders out there. It's going to be full simulation football. So I thought that was just another incredible thing by the Hall of Famer. And, I really want to see him successful at Colorado. I root for them because, him giving these kids giving them opportunity to change their lives. Also, I even brought up the fact that one of the kids had a teacher reach out, said they wasn't cutting it in the classroom. So shout out to Deion Sanders. Before I go, I definitely want to tell y'all, check out Allen Iverson's book, y'all. Very good book. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed what he talked about, a lot of him growing up. And a lot of times you read an athlete's book, you kind of like, all right, okay, I'm going to sleep, whatever. But no, this AI book, man. And I remember, I'm a Kobe fan. I didn't appreciate Allen Iverson the way I should have, but eventually I would. But listening to this book, I said, this is on point. So shout out to Allen Iverson. But ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for this week's episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also check out Loving Them Gates. Me and Queen PR, we put together recaps. Also, we do deep dives. So make sure you check that out. I'm about to go have some fun, see what they got in Los Angeles. Until the next time, do not let anyone place a ceiling above your success. So long, everybody. Thank you for joining this episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. For more uncomfortable conversations, for some interviews, exclusive interviews, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Check out the playlist. We got this channel perfectly organized for you.